Hello and welcome to the Money Queen podcast. I am Alex Nicolaitis, the Money Queen. I am here to break the stigma that we don't talk about money here. I will deliver the loving bitch slaps that you need in your business to elevate you as a leader and support you through to that next level of welcoming in the wealthiest version of yourself. Backed by 14 years in the accounting and bookkeeping industry, I utilize the support of the masculine systems, structure, and ATO compliance combined with the feminine energetics of mentoring and allowing ourselves to be open to receiving and holding space for queens like yourself who are committed to forming a healthy relationship with money. So hit that subscribe button, leave me a rating, and I cannot wait to have you by my side as we raise the feminine collective and create true generational wealth and change. 2024. Hi, hello. My name is Alex, the Money Queen. Welcome back to the Money Queen podcast for another year. I don't know about you, but I'm here for what 2024 has in store for me. If you are a regular here, you know that I've had a month off because I fucking wanted it and I took it, right? It is the time that I had off was so wholesome, so soul warming that I was like, yes. And I didn't want to open up this podcast for the next season. We're in season 2, my friend, just because I wanted to make sure that I was in the right energy and that had the right intention before pressing that record button and filling your ears with all of the juicy goodness that I have in store for you in this episode. So this episode is going to be a bit of a recap of what's happening, what I'm setting myself up for 2024, and maybe a little bit about what I've been doing in the last month. We'll see how we go. So a popular trend that I was a part of before it was even a trend is a word for the year. So my word for 2024 is wholesome. And why it's wholesome, it's because that I have just gotten into a relationship and reflecting on what gifts that has brought me in the last 6 months and what, I desire from it and what I know that I get to put into that relationship and the other priorities that I have in my life in terms of like my friendships and my business and my fitness and health. I'm like, I really just want every element of my life to be really wholesome and like fresh feeling. And so when I was working out what the word was, wholesome just fit. Because when you think of wholesome, it's like a big warm hug. And it's like, oof, I feel that. It's not like go, go, go. It's not rush, rush, rush. It's not, here's all these goals and here's all of the things that I need to do. It's like, it's actually a being word, like wholesome. So that is my word. And it has already proven its worth in making pretty few big life decisions this year already. I checked in with myself and I'm like, if I did option A, is that actually living a wholesome life? And the answer to that was no. And I was like, okay, so what do I get to say yes to in this year of my life, leaning into the word of wholesome? And I shifted directions and it wasn't what I was expecting. More on that probably in a few months' time. A few things that I've got to keep in my back pocket. If you are someone who does do the word for the year and you've not created one as yet, this is an invitation for you to think about what that is. And, it only took me, I just had a conversation with a friend whilst I was at the gym, funnily enough. And, within 20 minutes, I had my word. So, it's an invitation for you to create one as well so that when you are making life decisions or business decisions, micro and macro decisions, you can come back to your word and go, is this actually in alignment with the life that I am choosing to live this year? Yes or no? And then take action in accordance to whatever your answer is, whatever it feels like in your body. And it will do you a world of good, as it has done for my life already in these last 31 days in January. In the last episode of 2023, I shared with you about this ritual that I do every year and writing a letter to my future self for the 12 months in the future. And I opened it on the, I think, 3rd or 4th of January. I was in Adelaide at the time with my partner and super excited to open it up. And I opened it up and, I normally open it on the 1st of January. So even the fact that I delayed it a couple of days to open it, I was like, oh, do I not want to open it with him in my presence? Or do I just want a bit of space to open that myself and then share with him? Because when I wrote it last year, I think when we reconnected last year, I shared the original letter with him. And, because one of the steps in my letter is to share it with someone so that you can be held accountable. So, he was one of the people that I shared my last year letter with. And so it was interesting to observe my hesitation to go, is this a me thing? Is this a relationship thing? Like, what actually is this? And unpack that. So the letter continuously, is bringing me and my life, my business, constant gifts outside of the writing and the, setting the intentions and putting it away and allowing life to happen. And then the unfolding of, well, what actually happened and where am I in alignment with where I thought I was going to be? Interestingly enough as well, I haven't written my 2024 letter. And the reason why I'm actually okay with that is because, coming back to my word wholesome, and the reason why I took a month off this podcast, I don't want to do anything this year that feels like I'm coming from force and from I have to energy. I want to allow myself the space and the time and the freedom to actually make choices that are a full yes, right? So right now, I don't have a full yes to sitting down and writing my 2024 letter. I know that if I do, it will be coming from force, and therefore it won't be as potent as what it can be. So I'm actually just allowing myself to be with what is right now, and life is really full right now. It's beautiful, it's wholesome, but it's really full. And I know that when I am ready to write the letter for 2024, I will write it with full intentionality, full presence, and it will deliver me with the goodness that it gets to and has been doing for the last, I think, 8 or 9 years now I've been doing it. So little update on that one. Another thing that I have done in January to prepare myself for the 2024 year is I've put a 2024 calendar year budget in place, a bit of a cash flow projection, because I wanted to get really clear or get clearer on where am I at right now in business compared to my 2024 financial year goals, to do a bit of a 6-month recap, to go, where did I think I was going to be? Where am I actually at? And what does my next 6 to 12 months look like from a cash flow point of view? And for me, I don't like doing things in 6 months. I like to do things in calendar years or financial years. Does it mean that I'm going to use this calendar year budget all year round? Probably not, because life changes, and at the end of financial year, I'm going to do another budget because that's what I do. That's one of my processes. I am in the financial space, and budgets don't scare me. Like mindful money plans don't scare me. So I have a healthy relationship with them. So they get to support me as opposed to going, oh, budget, restriction, constraint. I don't love that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to avoid, I'm going to push away money. That's not my story. If that is yours, let me know. Send me a DM. We can do a session and create a mindful money plan for yourself and for your business so that you can actually have that clarity and shift that relationship with creating a budget or a mindful money plan to really invest in your money story this year and turn around your financial space for this year. Putting together that cash flow projection for this calendar year really enabled me to go, okay, where's my money sitting right now? What's my bare basic money that I know that's coming from my already engaged clients, and a few future projections of the exciting things that I know that I will manifest this year and the monetary value associated to them. I really looked at the cost of goods in my business and the overheads of my business and asked myself those questions of why. Why is this overhead in my business? What is actually the outcome that I'm getting from this monetary exchange? Is that actually worthwhile anymore? And doing a bit of an analysis on that. That took me probably a couple of hours to do myself, and it really gave me a a reset button, essentially, to go, okay, I now am more mindful of what my monthly goals are, because they've just been reset. They've just had a refresh put on them. So now when I do my end of month process, instead of looking at my 2024 financial year budget, I'll look at my cash flow projection for that I just put together, because that's the most recent thing I've put in place in my business. I have an invitation, Queen. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? If this episode is providing you with the aha moments and the loving bitch slaps that you needed to hear today, then listen up. My Money Queen coaching package is perfect to stop being so afraid of money and your numbers in business. This package includes a sacred money archetype reading, which is pretty much like human design but for your money world, and 2 additional 90-minute sessions customized for your own personal money journey to reset your relationship with money, to bring more wealth and abundance into your world for 2024. Remember that courageous moves will create the life of your dreams. And it's time to take action. Head to alexunscripted.com to book in a call with me today. The other thing that I made time for in January to set myself up for 2024 to have a really wholesome year is to get clear on what is actually important to me this year, right? So there was 4 topics that are really important to me. Number 1 is feeling grounded. So the last 6 months of my life, I have been doing a lot of traveling, a month in Europe, plus a lot of, trips to Newcastle and Sydney and Adelaide and a few, Sunny Coast, Gold Coast, around Brisbane area. And a lot of those times I felt really, disconnected from like, what am I doing right now? What am I doing next week? I can't keep up with what my calendar or what my schedule was like. And I didn't feel that groundedness. So, and it put me off a couple of times. So this year, 2024, in alignment with my wholesome word, it's important to me to feel grounded. So what do I get to do this year? What actions do I get to take? What do I get to embody that allows me to feel really grounded? Right. And I get to be reminded of this. I've written all these 4 steps of what are actually important to me on my computer screen. So when I'm at my computer every single day, I can see it and I can be reminded of, what actions did I take today? Who did I speak with? What did I say yes to? What did I say no to? Am I in alignment or out of alignment with what's important to me right now in my life? And have a bit of a check-in. Because if we don't have those prompters, it's very easy for them to fall by the wayside and those, important things that are on my list to just be another, wasted time investment. And time is money. I want to make sure that I am setting myself up for my version of success. And in putting that little list on my computer screen that I can see every single day is a mechanism that I use to remind myself daily. Number 2 is rebuilding trust in myself. So last year, again, with my busy calendar, there were a few things and situations with clients where I dropped the ball a couple of times and I was like, shit, what are you doing? You're falling into old patterns of when you used to overcommit and underdeliver. And that is not what I am about anymore. And I really just had a tough conversation with myself to say, what are you choosing? You get to close your books. You don't have to say yes to every opportunity. You can have conversations with people, but if it's not a full yes, it actually gets to be a no. And I actually, signed up a client late last year, didn't understand or appreciate the time constraints on this project. And she's a friend of mine. And, within 24 hours, she was like, actually, I didn't understand the, fullness of what was actually this project that had to be done in a specific time frame. And we ended the engagement, refunded some money, and all was good. So it was like, where can I rebuild that trust? It's saying yes to an opportunity and then allowing myself the grace that 24 hours later, both of us were like, oh, actually, it's a no from me. It's a no from both of us. And we get to disconnect from this, professional relationship and keep our friendship going. So trusting that me coming to her and her coming to me to say, actually, something's a bit off right now. And we can't meet the parameters that need to be met, and trusting that our friendship, which is where this relationship started, is actually able to continue on in a really healthy way, is a way that I can start, rebuilding that trust in myself and rebuilding that trust in the business that I am creating now. Because, old version of me would continuously overpromise and underdeliver, and it made me feel like shit. It made me work up to 80 hours a week consistently. I was the first person in the office and the last person to leave consistently. And I didn't have any focus on my health and fitness, right? So my mental health was a shambles. And that is not how I'm choosing to live my life now. I don't need to, I don't have to, and I don't want to, more importantly. Another reason, another example of rebuilding trust in myself is, micro moments of I'm committing to moving my body for 30 minutes a day, regardless of what that looks like. I know in my heart of hearts that I can make space for 30 minutes of exercise every single day without fail, rain, hail, or shine. I don't care. I actually love walking or running in the rain. That does not bother me whatsoever. So weather is not a deterrent to me. It's actually I don't know what the other opposite word of deterrent is, but it's that. I don't know what it is. So, every day that I get up and I go for a walk, or I go to the gym, or I swim in my pool, or whatever that looks like, it's rebuilding that trust. It's, a friend gifted me with a box of dates, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't have bought these myself. But now that I have them, I don't want to throw them away. So I'll commit to only having 2 dates per day, because I know that I could easily eat the entire pack in a couple of days, but I didn't want to do that because that's out of alignment with my health and fitness goals. So when I pick out 2 dates and go, that's my limit for today, that's me rebuilding my trust in myself and my word. Number 3 is rebuilding confidence in my body. Because of all the travel last year and, going to Europe for a month and my overcommitted work schedule, my health and fitness actually took a bit of a back step. And I now, probably not right now, but in the months of sort of December and early January, I'm actually been the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And I felt like shit. And it was this ugly polarity between I feel really fucking shit in my body, yet I've got this beautiful partner who's like, you are still so sexy. Like, I love your body. I don't understand why you have this, issue with it or grievance with it, because you are such a beautiful person. I love all your curves and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but like, this isn't me. Like, this isn't my true self. I feel disgusting right now. And it didn't happen overnight, obviously. It was a lead up to Europe and, a lead off Europe as well. And then continuously traveling and going to all beautiful, lounges whilst I travel in hotels and airports. And then, because it's in the new phases of a relationship, going out to beautiful restaurants and just saying yes to, desserts all the time and all this sorts of stuff. It's the compound effect, working against me as opposed to for me, right? So this year, having a focus on rebuilding the confidence in my body is actually having a honest and awkward conversation with my partner to say, hey, I feel really shit in my body, and it's because of X, Y, and Z that we've been doing together. And, I actually need to press pause on that. And it's not to say we can't have it in our life, but we actually just need to switch it up a little bit so that I can show up as the best version of myself, for myself first, and then for you in our relationship. And since I had that awkward conversation, or that challenging conversation with him to say, like, I love that you want to take me out to nice restaurants and, take me to all these nice lounges, but stop. Right? It's not actually doing me any favors right now. It's doing the opposite. It was really beautiful to see how that was received. And now the flow-on effect of that is we get to exercise together. We have a focus of health and fitness in our relationship. And, I've shared my fitness goals with him and the reasons why my confidence is lower than it normally is. And he is now keeping me accountable and checking in every day to say, have you done your 30 minutes of exercise today? And really working as a team in that scenario. So that's been really important to me, because I know that when I have been at the peak of my fitness in my life, the rest of my business and friendships and, if I was dating, those types of, relationships, they were flourishing and I was showing up as the best version of myself. That's what I am doing now. But in the month of sort of January, just shifting it up a little bit so that I get the outcome that I am having now. And again, actually utilizing the compound effect to work for me as opposed to against me. And what's important to me at number 4 this year is essential only. And my coach introduced this to me late last year. And essentially it is only the things that are essential to my business, to my health, to my wealth, and to my mindset, like my mental health. That is all that's in my life, right? The humans, the clients, and the experiences. If it is not essential to my well-being and having a wholesome life, it's a no from me. So I found myself, stepping away from some friendship groups and stepping away from some people as well, because I needed space. I needed space to evaluate. I needed space to be with myself. I needed space for this new relationship that's in my world. And, clients, it was stopping and assessing those to say, who am I actually working in partnership with right now? Do I get to have some challenging conversations to kick a few people up the arse? Do I need to kick myself up the arse because I am not, adhering to the service standards that I desire to be delivering in this business, right? And the experiences, I don't need to say yes to everything. Just because someone invites me onto a party boat, for instance, for a Christmas party, it doesn't mean that I have to say yes. I'm not a big drinker. So, saying yes to that opportunity, that's actually not essential for me. I would feel a lot more wholesome of an evening staying at home and having a glass of water and having a few pieces of chocolate, as opposed to writing myself off on a party boat just because it's Christmas. Right? So everything in my life has been slowly being stripped away at the back end of last year. And now 2024, I have this real big focus on essential only. Is it essential to me having a wholesome life? Yes or no? And then moving forward in that direction. That is a bit of a 2024 so far recap, what I have done, what I have not done, and the intentions for this year. Hope that you have got some inspiration out of that. And if you would like to do a session with me to put together a bit of a cash flow projection or a mindful money plan, please slide into my DMs and let's have a conversation. Thank you, Queen, for saying yes to your yes in listening to this episode and being a part of raising the feminine collective one conversation at a time. Remember to share this episode with your business besties and join me in breaking the tabooness around having money conversations. As always, if you have enjoyed this episode, please rate, subscribe, and share this on your social media, remembering to tag me in it to help this conversation go further, which creates a bigger ripple effect.